they closed the safe. Believe it or not, but a European giant is preparing an €80 million offer for one of the pillars of our midfield. And the worst part, he's only 22 years old and has already won everything with Real Madrid. Will the club sell? And as if that wasn't enough, a starter for the Brazilian national team was ignored by Xabi Alonso in his debut as Real Madrid coach at the Santiago Bernabeu. Not a single minute on the pitch. And what the coach said after the match left everyone scratching their heads. Before I tell you this complete story, drop your like and subscribe to the channel, because here it's Real Madrid news every day. No fluff, straight from the heart of Madridismo. Fan, picture this. The new coach's debut at the Santiago Bernabeu, a tight match, tense atmosphere, and everyone waiting for that magical moment. Mbappe scores from the penalty spot. The team wins 1-0. But something strange happens. Rodrigo doesn't come on. Not for a single minute, not even warming up. Nothing. And then you think, okay, must have been an injury. Nope. He was on the bench, ready to play. All the available forwards came in. Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, Brahim Diaz, Franco Mastantuono, Gonzalo Garcia, except Rodrigo. Even the kid who just came up from Castilla got minutes. But number 11? Ignored. The post-match press conference was, at the very least, curious. Xabi Alonso, with that calm tone, tried to cool things down. Nothing is happening. The Club World Cup was a different context. That's behind us now. I'm counting on him. It was just an unusual match. But fan, pay attention. He didn't actually explain anything. He just brushed it off, said it was circumstances of the game. But wait a second, circumstances? The game was 1-0, wide open, and you put on two inexperienced kids, but not Rodrigo? It's not the first time, huh? At the Club World Cup, Rodrigo was also left out of some important matches. And the excuse at the time? Coaching decision. It's becoming a pattern. It's becoming a habit. It's becoming tension. And now the noise has started. The English press isn't letting it slide, and there are already strong rumors that Arsenal is closely monitoring the Brazilian situation. The Gunners want to strengthen their attack and are eyeing exactly this opening at Real. Imagine losing Rodrigo, who's only 24 years old, already with titles and experience, over a coaching decision? Could there be something behind the scenes we don't know? Could he have asked for something that wasn't well received? Could the club already have different plans for him? What we know is the fans are restless, and with good reason. But hold on, because that was just part of what Xabi Alonso said after the match. The new boss opened up about Mbappe, Mastantuono, Güler, Carvajal, the tactical system, the team's adaptation, and even the squad's future. But before I tell you about this avalanche of statements, you need to know what's happening with Kamovinga, because there's a European giant coming in with €80 million on the table, and this could change the fate of our midfield. Yes, we're talking about our Kamovinga, the same one who arrived at 18 with a boyish face in veterans football, the guy who has already won the Champions League, La Liga, UEFA Super Cup, and is a starter for the French national team, one of the strongest squads on the planet, at just 22 years old. And now, Manchester United wants to take him away with cold, hard cash. According to information from the Spanish outlet Fichajes, the English were after Carlos Baleba from Brighton, but they got a straight no in the face. The answer was dry, definitive. So they changed their target. They went straight for the jugular, straight for the heart of Madrid's midfield, Eduardo Camavinga. The Red Devils' idea to arrive with an €80 million offer on the table. A desperate attempt to show the world they still have power in the market and can compete with Europe's giants. But this is not just any club. This is Real Madrid. And Real Madrid doesn't need to sell. Camavinga is an essential part of Xabi Alonso's project. The new coach has already made it clear, no one is guaranteed a starting spot, but I am very satisfied with players like Camavinga, Militão, Carvajal. In other words, he sees the Frenchman as a key piece in the process of rebuilding and transitioning to this new generation. An engine in midfield, lungs that run the whole game, who wins the ball, carries it, creates, and still commands respect. But then comes the dilemma, because the offer is tempting. €80 million. For a player who costs less than half that in 2021. That's money that can shake any board, even more so in a scenario where the club needs to think about renewals, new salaries, financial balance. Here's where the debate begins, Madridista. You, as a passionate fan, would you sell Kamovinga now for that jackpot? Or is that complete madness? A shot in the foot? Remember, Kamovinga hasn't even reached his physical peak yet. He has the potential to be the best defensive midfielder in the world in the coming years. He's a starter with France at just 22 years old. He's loved by the fans. He's versatile. He can play as a holding midfielder, fullback, even as an attacking midfielder. He has grit. He has commitment. He has Madridista DNA. Comment down below, because this kind of discussion we need to have with the heart of a fan and also with the mind of someone who wants a strong Real Madrid for many years. Let's talk about the debut of our new boss at the Sacred Temple. After years being a legend on the pitch, Xabi Alonso finally stepped into the Real Madrid dugout, now as head coach, in an official match at the legendary Santiago Bernabeu. And my friend, what a symbolic moment. A packed stadium, incredible energy, the new generation of Real stepping onto the pitch hungry for football. And there he was, calm, focused, but with that look of someone who knows every inch of that field. Xabi was at home. On one side, Real with Mbappe making his official debut wearing the number 10, imposing, confident, ready to decide. On the other, the always tricky Osasuna, who didn't come just for a stroll. They parked the bus, closed the game, and made things difficult. The final score was 1-0, with the French star scoring from the penalty spot. 3 points in the bag. Mission accomplished? Yes, but with reservations. The game was scrappy, tough, hard to break down. Real dominated possession, tried every way, but there's still a lack of chemistry. Missing that final touch, that textbook move. And Xabi, with the honesty he's always had, said it all in the press conference. There were good things and others to improve. We lacked a bit of composure in the final third. We're still fine-tuning. And how can you blame the man? He just took over, only had 2 weeks of preseason, not enough time to put all his ideas into practice. Even so, the team showed organization, tactical discipline, and above all, hunger. A lot of hunger. He also pointed out Osasuna's approach, sitting deep, making creation difficult and limiting space. We haven't had time yet to work tactically in depth, he explained. In other words, this is just the beginning, the sketch of something much bigger. But let's also talk about what's shown in this match, the debuts. Alvaro Carreras and Franco Mastantuono came on with total energy. They showed they didn't feel the weight of debuting at the Bernabeu. They ran as if they were playing in their backyard, without fear. Arda Güler, meanwhile, had a solid first half, controlling the tempo and helping with possession. He showed maturity and game reading far above average for his age. Xabi didn't hold back the praise. All 4 new players did well. They didn't feel the weight of the shirt or of the Bernabeu. And that's hugely important, because it shows that Real Madrid is managing to mix youth with experience. A group that can grow together, with young names taking responsibility. Another highlight was Carvajal's return. After injury, he came back strong, playing firmly, giving support and showing why he's one of the leaders of this squad. Xabi made it clear, he's essential. Not only technically, but emotionally. He's a captain. He knows the soul of the club. And of course, there was the name everyone wanted to see on the pitch with the new number 10 shirt, Kylian Mbappe. He scored the winning goal. But beyond that, Xabi highlighted the incredible desire the Frenchman is showing behind the scenes. He wants more. You feel it day to day. He wants to inspire others. That's the spirit we want to see. A guy who already arrived as a giant, but who isn't complacent, wants to grow, wants to be a reference, and not just in attack, but in the dressing room. But not everything is roses. The win was important, but the team is still far from ideal. There's still a lack of fluency in play, synchronization in offensive movements, and perhaps a clearer definition of hierarchy in the attack, especially in cases like Rodrigo's, who didn't play. Xabi Alonso now has a crucial stretch. 2 matches before the next international break, more training days, more chances to adjust the system, correct mistakes, and understand who really deserves space in this talent-filled squad. If you want to follow everything happening with Real Madrid, from behind the scenes to the pitch, from transfers to training, from prospects to legends, this channel is for you. So go ahead and subscribe, turn on notifications, drop your like, and share this video with that friend who only talks about the Premier League. This is Real Madrid straight to the veins.